Awesome. Hey guys, welcome to the root reveal, where today we're going to go over your CBC with differentials. I am going to pull out 5 key markers in your CBC with differentials. If you have it, pull it out. We're going to go over some markers on there that can give you some answers you have probably never been given before. Our goal is to help you stop wasting time on Google, to stop trying to piece your health together, to get you some real answers that will get you some real results so that you can better understand what's really going on in your health. All right. There's a reason why you are having a hard time going home and making dinner and you'd rather get takeout. But that's okay. Exhaustion, fatigue, all the things. We're going to talk about 5 key markers. Pull out your CBC with differentials. Let me get the whiteboard up. You're going to see the CBC, and at the very top of it, you're going to see this white blood count. This white blood count is going to tell us whether or not we have infections. Infections wreak havoc on every cell, every organ, every gland, every system of your body. So if you're one of those people that is like, I just feel like a mess and no one can tell me what's wrong with me, well, here is where we're going to help you see what's going on. When you're fighting these things, you're going to have symptoms that are not fitting underneath this this umbrella that isn't going to give you a diagnosis, and they're not going to know what to do with it. So right off the bat, we're going to look at the white blood count. The standard lab range is like here. And so we're going to condense it here into functional medicine ranges. We're going to pay attention to this smaller version, 5 to 8. But let's say you have a smaller or another marker that is 5.8. Just because it's within that doesn't mean that the markers below it aren't going to come out clean. So we always have to double check the additional markers. That 5.8 might mean that it's fine on one lab test, but another lab test 10 years ago, it might have been a 9 or it might have been a 3.2. There's so many times on social media that people will say, I've always had low white blood count, but doctors just wash it away like it's normal. But these markers are going to change your life. We're going to look down at your neutrophils, lymphocytes, monocytes, eosinophils, and basophils. These are going to be at the very bottom of the CBC with differentials. So your top marker is white blood count, and you're going to go down to the 5 markers at the bottom. If you don't see them, there's a possibility that you don't have the CBC with differentials. So your doctor only got you a CBC. We want a CBC with diff. The differential portion is going to be these 5 markers. So we want to ask for these if you don't have them, or we can get them going for you. Okay, so we're going to look at our neutrophils, and we want them to be less than 60%. There's 2 versions of this on some labs. Some labs, you're only going to get the absolute value, but most labs are going to get their percentages. So we just want to pay attention to the percentages. We want to see it less than 60%. So let's say it's at a 68%. Now we're concerned of a low-grade bacterial infection. What does this look like? It looks like chronic diarrhea, chronic constipation, joint pain. Maybe you've been told you have rheumatoid arthritis, fibromyalgia. It can look like a lot of things, but those are a lot of the big ones. Like also digestive issues, GI complaints. I think we said joint pain. Yeah. But that's your neutrophils. So if we're less than 60%, most likely that's a good thing, but it's going to be high somewhere else. So we're going to look at our lymphocytes, and we want it to be less than 30%. If it's above 30%, like 42%, we're gonna think virus. So lymphocytes' primary job is to fight viruses. This isn't something that's going to come up positive on a test like EBV, COVID, or whatever the name of it is. Doesn't matter. There's thousands of viruses out there. Some of them are good guys. Monocytes, we want to see it less than 7%. But let's say it's 13. That's a really high monocyte count. 12, 13, 14, that's a really high count. But now we're also fighting a virus, or another way to determine if you're fighting a virus. At this level, though, it could easily be EBV positive test. Viruses are just there. We fight them all the time. If your body's given the right tools, it can do its job. So we don't worry about this, but it's nice to know what's really going on. Anything less than 12%, it's a low-grade virus. We're going to go down to the eosinophils. If they're over 3%, sorry, this is messy, y'all, or your basophils are over 1%, now we're looking at allergies for foods or parasites. And basophils, parasites. Usually by the time people are getting to me, they've already eliminated all of the inflammatory foods, and so we're going after parasites. But if you haven't, we're going to start with foods first. Basophils, we're going to want to first look at the eosinophils and make sure that we're not dealing with the food allergies. So when it comes to food, I recommend eliminating 4 food groups for at least 21 days. At least 21 days gives you a setup for eliminating some things that are high inflammatory markers and letting your body relax some while we're trying to figure out what's going on here. We're going to eliminate gluten, dairy, soy, and refined sugar, 21 days. In that time period, it's enough time to reset your body and lower your inflammation levels. Okay. We're going to do a new whiteboard. We're going to show your neutrophils, lymphocytes, monocytes, eosinophils, and basophils. That's 60, 30, 7, 3, and 1. When you guys get your labs, it's always going to add up to 100%, but I understand right now it's adding up to 101. If it's low, like your lymphocytes are 15, we don't really care if it's low because that means something else is really high. Like your neutrophils might be something like 77, and maybe this is 3. If something's low, something else is high because it's always got to add up to 100. 1, we want to pay attention to the high numbers. That's where our answers are going to come in. Okay. So now let's look at this important pattern. New whiteboard. Neutrophils, we want to see at 60% or less. Lymphocytes, we want to see at 30% or less. This is a 2-to-1 ratio, right? 60 and 30. That's a good thing. What's happening if we start to see your neutrophils something like 44 and your lymphocytes like 42? Where these lab ranges start to meet in the middle, we're seeing a 1-to-1 ratio. What does this mean? Well, my friends, the closer we're getting to this 1-to-1 ratio, the more you're fighting an autoimmune flare. I guarantee you, everyone knows someone who's fighting autoimmune, but we're going to focus on what's high. So 42 is high for lymphocytes. So we know that the autoimmune is being caused by a virus. Check that out. The virus then got triggered. It became more active than normal. Virus could be pregnancy, could be labor and delivery. You might be saying, I was fine until I had my third or fourth kid. All of a sudden, your health tanked. It's these triggers that caused the downflow effect of this. Triggers. Anytime you see this 1-to-1 ratio, we got to focus on the immune system. And then we got to say, why is your immune system fighting so hard? What is it fighting? This is super important, guys. The chances are this virus will become combat once we remove the triggers. Then we can go in and give the immune system your high dose of vitamin D and the different ingredients that it needs to do its job. These labs have the answers that you need inside of them. So with your normal labs, we can get some really cool answers about what's really going on in your body. Let's try something else. Let's try another pattern, like 48 and 40. If you have any type of autoimmune whatsoever, we are 1-to-1, 1-to-1. Unless you're fighting autoimmune specifically, we might assume monocytes are like 9 or 10. So something has to be elevated at this point if we're dealing with low numbers, because this is a low number. So monocytes, are a virus. Sometimes you'll see monocytes high and you'll see lymphocytes low. And that's okay. You're still fighting a virus. But these are just neat tools to show you on just one normal lab that gets dismissed all too often, that there are some real things going on in your health. And I can do this with many more normal labs that are ran on a normal basis, that are given to you and told that everything's fine, everything's normal, whatever you're feeling is crazy, or here's some different prescriptions to get started on because we don't really know what's going on with you. And they leave you like that. That's okay. We won't leave you like that. So if you guys want to work with me further, you want to do a full lab analysis, I will insert the link for you guys to book a consultation with me. I have a really cool foundational health 3-month program going on right now with a $2,000 discount. If you book with me this week, we will get you started. Everything is in a done for you program method. So you don't have to piece your health together anymore. We'll get all your labs ran. We'll get the analysis done for you. We'll give you the story of what's really going on in your health. And then we will put together the therapeutic protocol and supplements that your body needs to start fighting what these viruses or bacterial infections or what else might be going on in the remaining of your lab work is really showing us, so that you can actually start experiencing a cellular health reset, guys. Cellular health reset. Our cells must be well for you to be well, for you to be functioning well. So it doesn't matter if you have a few light symptoms here and there and you're not really sure what's going on. It doesn't matter if you have full-on autoimmune and you know that you've been diagnosed with something. It doesn't matter if you're having joint pain or fatigue, exhaustion, in that way of just chronic stuff going on. It doesn't matter. We can get you answers and we can get your foundations of your health set up in a reset. And that, my friends, is awesome. And it is innovational. I just can't be more excited about this program offer. Sorry, the screen disappeared. Anyways, I will get the link for you guys to book a consultation with me, or you can just I can also put the link in on where you can just jump right into the program. We'll get your labs sent off for an order. You'll go in, get your labs done, and well, anyways, we'll jump on a consultation and we'll go through the rest of that with you guys. So looking forward to working with you.